Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn the lesson The Alchemy of Nature. That is 1.6. Alchemy of Nature. Now what do we mean by alchemy? It is magical. What does nature teach us? So before I introduce the lesson, let's learn or let's understand what does the mother give us. Our mother, she teaches us what is good and what is bad. She motivates us. She inspires us. She fulfills all our wants or desires. She nurtures and soothes. Whenever we are in pain, be it physically or mentally, it's the mother who gives a gentle touch and tries to understand our problems and takes care of us. So these are the things which our mother gives us. Same goes with the nature. Nature consists of trees, mountains. We can also say as rocks, rivers, water. Grass. Then flowers, and of course sun, moon, sand. So these are the things which nature consists. So what do we learn from nature? These are the different aspects. What does the trees teach us? Trees teach us to be firm. Now, for example, we have seen almost all of the times, all the seasons, that trees, they shed their leaves in a particular season, and after 3 to 4 months, the tree is again full of green leaves. What does it show? Though the problem of shedding the leaves came, the trees did not give up, but it stood firm, deep rooted into the ground, and it waited there with patience. So that is one more quality, patience. So the same way in a man's life, n number of problems come, but they are not going to live with us forever. Today the problem is there, tomorrow it may not be there. It won't be there. We need to face those problems bravely and courageously. Next, let's see what we learn from the mountains and the rocks. So now what do we learn from the mountains or the rocks? You know the quality of the mountain, the characteristic of the mountain, that it's very hard, it's not soft. So what do we learn from the mountain? That means from outside a person can be hard or harsh, but inside the person has to be very soft to survive in this world. The feelings should be very soft and not harsh. Then, what do we learn from the rivers or the water. Now the rocks, it was hard. Water, it's gentle. You put water into any container, it takes the shape of that container. That means it adjusts to the situation. A man should learn to adjust themselves in whatever situation or surroundings they are. For example, we live in a city, but during the vacations, we go to visit our grandparents, those who live in village. There may not be those facilities which we have in our house. There it's too hot, here you are in the AC. So there is a difference. But after visiting your village, you cannot keep on grumbling or complaining that here there is no AC, no air, no oxygen, or whatever it is. But then you have to adjust over there. This is called as adjustment to the situation. When you sit in the class, most of the times if the teacher is absent, the class is combined. And that time the teacher asks you, 3 children sit on one bench, whereas the bench is sufficient only for 2 children. But then you have adjusted to that situation. You have given place to the third person, to the third student. That is accommodation. That is situation. You adjusted yourself. So the same way, whatever problems we come across, whatever situations we come across in our life as a student, as a person, as a child, as an adult, whatever it be. But then you need to be gentle and adjust as the river or the water. Now when the river flows on the way, it comes across the mountains or the rocks. But does the mountain or the rock say, we will not give you place? I am not going to move from here. Of course, the mountain or the rock is not going to move away from there. But then the mountain and the rock gives in. And what does the water do? The water flows above the rock, above the stone or above the mountain and finds its way. That is, it has adjusted. The water did not stand there only or block itself over there, saying, there is no place for me to move ahead, so I cannot. Next is the grass. Now what do we learn from grass? Have you ever observed children, the grass peeping out of the concrete wall, the cement from the walls? You know, when we walk along the road, we see many of the times that the small bits of grasses peeping out. That means it finds its way through the small opportunities. Finds its way. Even if the path is fully crowded. So what do we learn from here? You may be having many options in front of you, but then you need to find out how you can go through it, how you can go through all those options and find the right option for you. How the grass has found out its way. The entire path is concrete and there was a small hole from which the grass has found its way to come out. And one day, that small grass turns up into a big tree. So the same way, today the problem may be very big for you, but as and how you go on solving those problems, tomorrow you will see that there are no problems. Life itself is a problem, but it is up to us how we need to face it. how we have to handle those problems and move ahead. Next is the flowers. Now, what do we learn from flowers? There is a hibiscus flower which blooms in the morning, and by evening it droops, and the next day morning it withers and falls on the earth and mixes with the earth. But does the flower say that my life is so short? And is it sad? No. Though it comes for a day, it lives life to the fullest. That is, fullest. Now, what does it mean? Though the flower comes for a day, it spreads its fragrance and makes the people happy all around. It brings a smile on everybody's face. Whereas the flower knows that tomorrow I'll be mixed up with the earth, with the soil. But still, it lived life to its fullest. Same goes with the people. Your life is not counted by how many years you live or you lived, but it is counted by the good deeds which you do in your lifetime and how you bring a smile on others' face. Now here, let's see one example. In your society, there is a 70-year-old man. In your language, we can say that he is very khadus. He doesn't have a smiley face. He is never happy. He always grumbles and complains. Whenever you play cricket, be it in the parking or on the road, and suppose by mistake your ball goes and hits his window, the man, he comes out complaining, shouting at you, doesn't understand you properly. He never talks to small children. He doesn't have a helping nature. Nobody likes him. And one fine day, he is no more. Do you think that man will be remembered by you? No. Whereas on the other hand, there is a 21-year-old boy, a very young boy, going to college. But this boy has the habit of helping each and every one in that entire building. Be it buying vegetables for the old people, be it bringing milk for them, be it reading out the newspaper to someone, or playing with the small children. So it's like he is liked by everyone in that building. But very sad to know that that boy has met with an accident and he died. This boy was a very helpful boy, a boy with full of cheer and happiness. So the entire building feels sad for that boy. And they really feel his absence. Why, children? Because his deeds were very good. So you may get a proverb over here, expansion of idea. A man is known by his deeds and not by years. So you have to give such examples and explain that proverb. Now these are some of the qualities which we have learned from nature. Next, let's talk about the animals or the insects. Now, an ant. If you talk about an ant, it's very tiny, it's very small. But what do we learn from the ants? See, during winter, the ants, they know they are not going to get any morsel of food. So what they do? They store food for the entire winter season. Have you ever observed that a fly, which is 100 times bigger than the ant, a fly which is 100 times bigger than the ant, the fly has died, and some 15 to 20 ants come together and drag that fly. What does it show? It shows the teamwork, hard work. That's what we learn from the ants. Now, the spider. This is something which you have learned, the story about the spider in your nursery days. The spider is making a web. It falls down 10 times, but still it did not give up. It still moves upwards and makes a web. Again, we know it is perseverance. Perseverance leads to success. That is one more proverb which we learn from this chapter. Here, hard work, teamwork. And here it is perseverance. All these qualities go with almost all the animals. Like from the dog, you learn to be loyal, faithful, and honesty. So we have learned almost all the qualities which a man possesses. And what we learn from nature. So it's not, children, that these qualities we learn from the books or from the society or from our siblings or from only our parents or our neighbors. But it is also the nature which teaches you many things. See, when we are very sad and we go and sit near the waterfall, what kind of a feeling we get over there? We find a feeling of calmness, a feeling of completeness, and soothes us. It makes us very pleasing. That's what you found it in your mother also. When you are very upset, when you are very disturbed, you go to your mother, pour out your feelings to her. She pampers you, and that's how you get that happiness. That is how she takes care of you. Same goes with the nature. When you go in the midst of a flower garden, the entire garden is full of roses. What kind of a feeling you will get there? Same. Pleasing, very happy. It brings a smile on your face. So that is what we have learned from nature. So in all, we can say the qualities, what or the values which we learned today from this lesson is hard work, teamwork, gentle, facing the problems bravely and courageously, not to give up, face the challenges or obstacles with a positive attitude, be cool and calm, helping nature, so these are the qualities or the values which we have learned from nature, and that's the reason why the name of the lesson is Alchemy of Nature. That is magical. Nature has so much magic in it.